channel, it's Jaden here, and for today's video, basically I wanted to kind of incorporate two different video ideas into one. So basically for today's video, we are going to be showing my February wrap-up, so basically everything that I read in February, along with picking out our March TBR. And I kind of wanted to do something interesting this time. Instead of just telling you guys what I hope to read this time, I'll show you guys all the books that are on my TBR, and then we'll wrap them up and blindly choose them. I think I got the inspiration first from Just Allie, but I wanted to show you guys first my February hopefuls, so let's get into that and then we can start wrapping. Okay guys, so first hopping into our February wrap up. Basically the first book that I read and finished was My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. So this one follows a girl and her brother who decide to go to Cape Cod for vacation, and so they rent something like an Airbnb and basically end up discovering a dead body. And now that's when the angry, grumpy bounty hunter comes in, and he's basically trying to solve this murder as quickly as possible without getting attached. And they end up falling in love, and it's super cute, super fast, fun read. I do wish I read this in the summertime though, because it's definitely giving, you know, summer vibes, but super good book, still thoroughly enjoyed. I think I gave this 4 stars. Next, we read Love on the Brain. If you guys want to kind of see a pattern throughout this, I tried getting like pink books or either just books that were surrounded by love and romance. So this one follows a girl, I think she's like a neuroscientist or something. It's kind of like an enemies to lovers, almost romance, except there's kind of just miscommunication throughout. Guy falls first, definitely all with like STEM kind of sciencey stuff following that, kind of like the love hypothesis. It was super good, super interesting, although the ending I felt kind of reminded me of like a Scooby-Doo whodunit type thing, and it definitely felt like it could have been written better towards the end. But overall, I really enjoyed this book. I think I gave it a 4 stars. I really enjoyed learning, especially about Marie Curie, and kind of just some more interesting factoids that I haven't learned about before, so that was super interesting. And it definitely has like a girl power type vibe to it, so I really enjoyed that as well, but gave this one 4 stars. Next, oh my gosh, you guys, why did no one tell me to read this book sooner? Because I definitely would have. It's called Love in Other Words. I have never read a Christina Lauren book, and this was so incredibly good, you guys. From front to back, I enjoyed this so much. Basically, it follows this girl, and she spends all of her summers and weekends just kind of outside of San Francisco. It's basically like a cabin, and her next door neighbor is this guy named Elliot. And her and Elliot basically become friends, grow up throughout each other's lives, and then you discover that they haven't talked in 11 years, and you're trying to figure out why. And then throughout the book, as it processes, like, you just start to love the characters, love their relationship, see how he loved her for so incredibly long, and she was just obviously unaware about it, but it was so incredibly good. I loved when they would ask each other what their favorite words were at the moment. I thought that was super interesting. And just imagine reading with your book boyfriend, just sitting on his chest and just reading for hours. Like, that sounds such a fun time to me. So loved that book, definitely a 5-star book. And then the next 2 books that I read were Twisted Lies and Twisted Hate. So Twisted Hate was really good. This is kind of like an enemies to lovers romance. Super good. We love Josh Chen. He was very egotistical at sometimes, definitely very cocky, but I think Jules was really able to kind of like lower his ego a bit and kind of just blossom into something crazy. I loved this book. I love how Jules was super driven and just wanted to get away from her past, but of course her past follows her, and Josh helps her through all of it, so that was super fun to read and just be a part of. And then the next book, you guys, this was an all-time favorite. So these are the top 2 favorites for this month. I loved Love in Other Words. This is like a #1. This deserves 6 stars. But this one definitely deserves 5 stars. This follows Stella and Christian, and Stella is just like a social media influencer along with Christian, who is like the CEO of like this super secret security business. And so what happens is basically, you know, there's fake dating, there's a close forced proximity, and just all of these obviously lead to them falling in love with each other. He was the type of person to never believe in love, and then she came along, and I just love those types of stories. I think they're so cute. And of course, the steamy romance we could not get over. So, love this book, super good. Out of all of the series, I want to say this was my favorite book, and then Twisted Games was second. Twisted Love was third, just because Alex definitely grew on me throughout the series, and then Twisted Hate was fourth, although we do love duels. And then the last book that I just read this month was Atomic Habits. I'm trying to read like a nonfiction book along with my fiction reads. So this one was just talking about how tiny changes can have remarkable results, how you can kind of have these new habits and how you can develop them, along with decreasing all of your bad habits. So super enticing read, super interesting. I would read like a chapter a day. Wasn't that dramatic at all, and ended up having a really good time reading this. I felt like I learned a lot, and I'm kind of excited to read more nonfiction. And then I'm currently reading, you guys, The Final Offer. I know, I have been waiting for this. Callahan is just so freaking beautiful. I think I'm on page like 180, and I cannot get enough of this, you guys. I'm so glad it's such a big book, because I feel like as the last book of the series, it has to wrap up kind of all of the relationships in the story. So super excited to see how that unfolds. But you guys, this is such a good book so far. But now I want to get into the rest of my TBR. So we're gonna finish this in March, and then also finish maybe 5 or 6 of these books. So I kind of wanted to show you guys them, and then we can start wrapping them. Okay, so I'm gonna do a really quick run through. So basically we have A Court of Thorns and Roses. I've read this book already, but I want to read the entire series, so I feel like I need to read that book over. The Silent Patient, you guys, I've heard so many good things about that. It's not even funny. Six of Crows, I loved this duology, and I just want to read it again. So I felt like if I read Six of Crows, I'll obviously read The Crooked Kingdom. Then we have Layla. I needed a Colleen Hoover book in there, of course. Haven't read her in a minute. And then The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I feel like I'm not going to pick this one just because I know which one it'll be based on how I wrap it. But this book just seems really long, although it's super enticing. So many people have said good things about it. So definitely on my list at some point. Malibu Rising by Taylor Reed Jenkins. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I need to read It Starts With Us, so I feel like I need to reread It Ends With Us, if that makes sense. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. We love Emily Henry. She's so good. The Inheritance Games, you guys. I have not read this yet, and I have the first and second book. I know the third one's out, but I was kind of hoping to wait until the paperback version comes out, just because I'm not really that much into hardcovers. And then we have A Winter's Promise. Cinder, I have the whole Cinder series over there, and I haven't read it, and I've had these books since like 2015, so I thought I might as well throw that one in there. And then Where the Crawdads Lie. Oh, Where the Crawdads Sing, my bad. So many people have talked about it. I know it's a movie now, so I feel like I gotta get on that. And then these are like my top choices, but we're gonna obviously combine them all together. But first we have If He Had Been With Me. I have been waiting for a good cry, and I know this is gonna break my heart, so super excited about that. Oh my god, another heartbreaker. Things We Never Got Over. You guys, this is all over my For You page, my Instagram, my bookstore, everything, everywhere. I need to read this. Bad Reputation by Elle Kennedy. I literally love me a good Elle Kennedy book. I loved The Deal. I still need to read that whole series. But I read Good Girl Complex, so now I want to read The Bad Girl Reputation. They have very similar covers, so maybe they kind of correlate in some way. Better Than the Movies. You guys, I definitely was going to read this in February, and I didn't, so I'm hoping that I can read it in March. I guess we'll see. And then the last one is just The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I actually did start this. I'm like 60 pages in, so I'm hoping that I get to pick this one and read the rest. Taylor Jenkins Reid, unbelievable. This is obviously about the 7 husbands of a famous movie star from the 1900s, and just like kind of clears up her story and why she had 7 husbands. But super excited for this one. And with that being said, you guys, let's start wrapping the book. basically I just wrapped all of them. I feel like they look pretty cute, and then I have my little plant right there. Okay, so we have 17 books, so it's gonna go this way, so 1 to like 5 or 6, and then this way all the way till 17, so just kind of like you're reading, I guess. I have my little number generator right here, and we're just gonna pick and choose and unwrap them. It was honestly not that bad wrapping them at all. I literally felt like Christmas time, even though it's March. Let's just see what we come up with. First thing we're gonna do is generate it and figure it out. So 1 through 17, let's go. 14, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is number 14. Let's unwrap it. This is so fun. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, now I'm worried. A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay, so this might be one that we're doing kind of like maybe at the end of the month, because I feel like if I'm gonna read A Court of Thorns and Roses, I'm going to want to jump in straight to A Court of Mist and Fury. So this is on the TBR, you guys. All right, next one. I think we're gonna do like 5. So let's do that. 1. Okay, number 1. Ooh, okay. This is different. A Winter's Promise. I've heard that this is kind of crazy with like the world building, so kind of excited for that. You guys, we don't have any romance yet. Oh my gosh. Okay, next one. 7. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 7, you guys. Oh god. Okay. I'm like nervous for these now. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not gonna say that these weren't ones that I'm like were my top choice, but Where the Crawdads Sing. Okay. You know, we got to, you know, watch the major motion picture. So I guess that's on our list. 2 more, you guys. Okay, let's generate 13. Okay, so 1. I'm like scared now. Okay. But I guess this is what it's supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be getting you out of your comfort zone, right? Okay. Not that the other books are bad, but I'm like super excited for this one. So, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Definitely gonna be reading this one. This one might be the first one I read after the final offer. Okay, now last one, you guys. Let's do it. So, generate. Number 3! Okay. Okay, this one's like a little more thin, so I'm like okay with that. Okay. We're gonna be reading Layla, you guys. I've heard this is like a paranormal or something like that, so definitely thought I would be reading this in October, but we still haven't gotten to it yet. So these are all of our books, you guys. Okay, let's just go through them really quickly one more time. So we have Layla by Colleen Hoover. We have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. We have Where the Crawdads Sing, A Winter's Promise, and then A Court of Thorns and Roses. And we might be reading more of this series towards the end. But yeah, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. This was so incredibly fun to do. I really enjoyed it. And with that being said, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys!